Live from Linguini's base of operations. Today we will be diving into mindsets, my social media diet, how our minds work with GlacierRockShinobi, and a quote about isolation. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the dough. See you on the flip side.
You are now listening to Linguinis Dough.
So this first segment is about the social media diet I did for January. I have come close to finishing this challenge. There's still 3 more days in January. And this was not my first time doing this challenge. I knew it was time to do it again though. And because last time I did it, it makes me feel better. And this time I was like, yeah, I'm getting to that point. I need to do it again. So podcast is the best place to talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it again. The need to refresh the social media page was really starting to take its toll on me. I could feel it. It wasn't just like I need to refresh and check and catch up. It was like, this is not healthy that I am trying to refresh my social media. I felt like anytime I did anything that took remotely any energy, I had to go check social media. And I would do so, and it stopped me from actually getting what I wanted done. I mean, I'm still bad at getting this podcast out on time. I get it out on time, just more balanced throughout the month. I usually put it to the last week. But with social media, it really, I'll be on this, the last day it's due to get this project done, and I browse social media instead. So it had a little bit that contributed to the stress social media was giving me. And there's just stress that it brought that I don't know how to describe exactly. I could just tell it was there, and I could tell it was from social media. I had been quarantined for a majority of December, and that was a lot of time. That was about 3 weeks. And they gave me a lot of time to be on social media, and that just made me dislike it while using it more. And yeah, that's part of the reason I was like, I need to take a diet. Also, I just see how bad it is to check how many likes you get. It's one thing to look at social media analytics and see how you're doing and maybe how you can improve. But accidentally basing your worth off the amount of likes you're getting or what your stats are, basing what your worth is off of that, it happens accidentally, whether you like it or not. That is something I felt like, I don't feel like that was a major problem for me, but I know for a lot of people it is. And then I could kind of see it because I would check the likes, and there's no point in looking at likes unless you're actually looking at the marketing, where are you getting your viewers from, and all that sort of stuff. If you're doing it like that, from that aspect, it's healthy. When you look at it just from the likes, that's not healthy. So it was another thing that I was just like, I should probably do a detox. I realized by doing this diet that I do like social media because I am stoked to go back. I am very, very happy that I'll be going back, even if there's some things I don't like about it. Especially with downtime, there is just nothing to do. Social media is so nice for just downtime. My lunch break, oh my goodness, those have been so boring this month. I just kind of sit there after I check my 2 notifications. Retweets and reposts were very nice not to see. I swear my feed is just mostly people on Twitter and Facebook. It's mostly people just reposting and retweeting stuff. And I don't like it. December is when I started seeing how often people reposted other things or retweeted. So that was nice, not being shoved those things. If people only did it occasion, it would make it more interesting when they did do those retweets. But people do it all the time, making it a task for me to get through my feed. It's one reason I prefer Instagram and Reddit, because those don't have the same retweet or repost option that Twitter and Facebook have. Also, I had to intentionally search for news. It was not shoved into my face. When I was on social media, people were always mentioning how they hate this and this happening, and that was my feed. Without that, I had to research on my own, which is more reliable, and that was good for me. I didn't realize how much social media shows politics to me. I don't even follow political people. And I was so out of the loop because I'm bad at keeping up with things that I realized 4 days after Biden became president that he was the president. So it goes to show how like social media becomes your new news feed. I also was a little more productive, but compared to December, it's just more uninterrupted work. School started back in January, so I wasn't left with a lot of time to get stuff done. When I didn't have social media as a distraction, which was nice. You know, social media pressures you to share everything, and I couldn't do that with this diet, which was nice, but also kind of sad because a lot of stuff happened this month. I graduated high school, and other things just like, it's nice, but it's not really. Because some things I don't need to share. Other things, it's kind of nice to share. Anywho, that was a very stress relieving diet, and it's going to be over in 3 days. So I'm stoked for that. It's going to be a very minimal challenge for February. It's just going to be, you know how on like spicy sandwiches and all that kind of stuff, you're like no pickle, or I mean not on a spicy, but on a cheeseburger, no pickle or onion. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm trying to be more thankful for stuff, so I'll just deal with how the normal sandwich is and be thankful for that. That said, I'm not allergic to anything. So like if you're allergic to something and put no onions, that is very like a very good reason. But I'm not allergic to anything, so it's just gonna be whatever it is by default. That's what it is, and I'll try to be thankful for it, because I just feel like I need to be more thankful for what I have. It's something I've been slacking on. I have plenty to be thankful for, so trying to be more thankful rather than spend more. And yeah. So on to the quote.
Wow, that piece of dough was really interesting. Moving on, we're going to mix the dough with the quote.
How you meet these temptations will greatly affect your career. When you are on the road with only your animal, it is a strange and often frightening sensation. Often our perspectives and our values are temporarily forgotten, and we become like children, longing for the safety and love of our own. What we find as a substitute has ended the career of many, including thousands who are considered to have a great potential in the art of selling. The greatest salesman in the world, page 23. I didn't Google this quote and found it while reading a book, which makes me pretty happy. I find this statement very true. When I make an impulse purchase, it's because I'm bored. When I'm lazy, it's because I'm bored. Where most decisions go wrong, I'm isolated or bored. It's something I need to work on. I don't want to be the wolf's prey. I guess in a sense, it's why podcasts with guests do a little better, because everyone feels more comfortable, or there is a more sense of knowledge, even if there isn't any. This episode, we got a guest, and I'll be in the next segment, so that is very exciting. And yeah, the rest of the quote speaks for itself. Let's go hear that guest.
都一样的也的 We're now moving on to our next piece of dough.
So, for this segment, it is Hypothesis for Our Own Psychology with GlacierRockShinobi. Why don't you start out by giving us a little information about your channel?
Hello, everybody. What's up? No, I'm kidding.
You're Peter McKinnon today.
I'm Peter McKinnon if you were to order him off of wish.com.
$5.
But no, I have a pretty dead channel. It's growing, I believe. But I seem to have carried the trait for with each upload, I tend to lose a subscriber or two. It's just become a whole, I don't know, I guess it's become part of me. So I guess my goal will be to reach -1 this year.
Man, shoot for the stars. But I noticed that you're at 17 subscribers a couple of videos ago, and then now you're at 15, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It happens.
It's so confusing because it's like, why'd you subscribe in the first place?
Well, yeah, it depends. I'm part of me thinks it's because like with the snowboarding series, they weren't expecting like other kinds of film videos. Yeah, I think I need to figure out a way to label the snowboarding videos just to let people know that it's not the main topic of the channel.
Mm-hmm. Because it's what they always think. Oh yeah, one snowboarding video must be the whole. Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's definitely something I got to do about it. Should probably do it like how Mari Hapoya does it. He also is a man who snowboards himself, and he's definitely got a. What he normally does is he will title them as just kind of his average, like what he's doing, but he wouldn't call it a snowboarding journey like I'm calling mine.
Oh, because this is like a kind of a series of what you're learning. And,
Right.
Because you've been getting faster and stuff. That's cool.
Absolutely. I definitely. Geez. I mean, it might be a bit less confusing if I took my Nikon with me instead of the DJI Osmo.
Well,
But
it's a little bit harder bringing the Nikon.
it's way harder. I don't want to risk losing that thing. It's the only DSLR I've got
Yeah.
handy. I mean, I've also got the D3500, which is more entry level.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't have a mic jack, so I'd have to use my Zoom H1.
And that adds a lot of work and stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially while you're snowboarding.
Definitely, yeah. I wouldn't want to take any risks for now until I am rich.
Until you have the big
Which will
bucks.
probably never happen, but it's cool if not. You know, it's all about the joy.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. All right, so I guess we'll start. What is your strategy for manually staying on top of things?
The best answer I have is just do it.
Yeah.
Just get to the edge and jump.
This episode is not sponsored by Nike.
Nope.
How often do you feel like you need to adjust? Well, I feel like based off what that is, you don't adjust it that much. But are there times where you do?
Yeah, it really depends on what's going on. Like if I work the next day, I probably won't really how do I put it? Yeah, just the way I adjust is that I just really just keep up with what I don't know. I don't know what you mean by adjust necessarily.
Yeah, like maybe like
Care to-
sometimes you try something else to stay on top. And if you don't, like if you just stick with just do it, that's fine too.
Well, yeah, I definitely am always trying to do new things every time. But well, like either way, it can't really change the way you, how do I put this?
They get
Like even that doesn't, like you can't really necessarily rely on adjustments to keep you motivated or anything.
Mhm.
It definitely could do its part. It can help in sort of like just assist, but even that, like really you just got to rely on yourself to do all the work, all the dirty work, you
Mhm.
know, whether you feel like it or not, because
it's discipline,
that-
not motivation.
yeah, it's discipline, not motivation. And it definitely helps like during the production of Wick versus Garmadon, I like a part of the reason why they were so tedious and took me a bit of time to release was mainly because in order to keep my motivation up, I would just do a little bit of animating each night.
Mm-hmm.
And but also you also got to avoid burnout if you want to keep this up. And in order to do that, apparently the best way, in my opinion at least, to do that is to just take breaks whenever you feel the burnout starting to come along.
Definitely something I would have known sooner, because I honestly don't think I'll be finishing one of my projects I was excited to do, which was animation as well. And like not taking breaks and just going full force all at once, kind of, it takes a toll and it lasts a long time.
Right, definitely. Yeah, you do not want to put up with the long-term effects.
No.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Let's see, what's another way I can put it? I did have, gosh, I had something in mind. What was it? But right. But apparently that feeling never goes away, you know. It's always gonna feel the same. You'll be improving. You will have your ups and your downs. You'll reach highs and lows. Oftentimes I would get unmotivated, all because just burnout would just like.
It's like, hey,
gosh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, should I move to the next question then, or?
Let's see. I'm sure I can pick it back up. Hold on. Oh yeah, if I'm taking too long, then yeah, we should.
Oh no, I'm not in a rush.
Just continue. Just proceed. All right, that's good to hear at least.
But yeah, let me know if you remember it, because it's good to know.
Yeah, definitely. Gosh.
I
feel like this is just kind of how I would act if I were on like Joe Rogan's podcast or something like this. There would just be so many pauses just because my ADD will be all acting up.
It's like, hey, right now's a bad time.
Right.
But nah, just kidding.
Yeah, definitely.
You think staying on top of things, let's see. Does staying on top of things get you to keep staying on top of things, or do you think you can do it again without putting the work in? I don't know if that made sense.
Well, it somewhat depends. You kind of just make it a habit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, so yeah, and you just keep it up for as long as possible until you begin to burn out. Always definitely rest. You live and you learn. I am 20 years old and I have numerous things that I wish I could have learned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure either way, it happens to everybody. Genuinely everybody goes through this thing where they're like, man, I wish I had learned that earlier
Mm-hmm.
before I started doing this and that. But sometimes you learn best from your mistakes. I believe I've heard a quote once from someone who said that mistakes are your greatest teacher. Well, no, failure is the greatest teacher.
I agree with that statement. I feel like it's not encouraged enough through society, but for the people that are successful and like really do care for others, they'll tell you that it's the failures that make you the person you are.
Yeah, definitely. You just gotta get comfortable with failure and just kind of normalize it.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently in a Peter McKinnon video, I actually did hear apparently his sister told him, because even the professionals, they have their projects that they are dissatisfied with and that they didn't feel comfortable posting.
Mm-hmm.
But his sister even told him that done is better than perfect. So
as long as there's if you try improving, even if it doesn't end up better, I think that's also like a good factor, as well as done is better than perfect.
Well, yeah, doing is how you get experience. You see,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously it has to happen at some point. Otherwise, you just practically wasted your time just worrying so much about it.
Mm-hmm. There's not an infinite amount of time.
Definitely. There's not an infinite amount of time. Life's too short to just go for it.
I remember I used to always watch YouTube videos like Peter McKinnon, I can't say his last name, but
Hapoya.
Yeah, Hapoya. Yeah, and just other YouTubers of like how to improve my cinematography, but I never actually went out and created. And before that point in my life, it's like, well, I know all these things about it, but I don't actually make it, and it doesn't build the greatest quality of things. So learning that was like honestly such a good thing.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel like that would have been me if I were still in high school, and I probably would have been a bit too scared to do it just because of course my mindset would have just been good camera means good footage, but you know, it's not the camera that does the work, you know, it's all you and and you know, it narrows down to perspective.
That's it. Nice camera does it helps once you've got the skills down.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't look at me wrong. You can't go wrong with that. You know, I've been, you know, I think just my 8 years as a stop motion animator really helped me to know a lot of different things. So it really brought me to my own experiences, and it just, because, you know, stop motion is it's a form of filmmaking on its own.
Yeah, there's a lot of workarounds you have to do as well.
Right. Yeah, like the only real difference is that it's a series of pictures, whereas you're recording actual footage during live action.
Both are very hard. Animation just takes a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm quite sure that a lot of the filmmakers who have inspired us, I'm pretty sure if many of them, not saying all of them, but like many of them who have no experience or little to no experience with animation, I'm pretty sure that if they tried to do animation, they'd probably be right, like on the same boat as we are now with our live action doings.
Yeah, that's a good way to compare it.
Yeah, absolutely. You like, you know, just everyone just has something, like, you know, you basically just gotta discover yourself, you know.
You got to figure out your style.
Absolutely.
All right. How do you feel when you aren't nearly as productive as your goal may have been for that day or that time period?
I can definitely say it is kind of downbringing. There are just days when I'll just not so much anymore ever since I've gotten on my grind, but because you know I'm actually a lot happier now that I'm on my grind. You know, ever since I've gotten more consistent, I've actually been feeling like I'm taking the first steps towards my kind of towards my goals in life. You know, just where I want to be. Man, these trains always break off somehow. But nonetheless, you know, you just yeah. Gosh, I forgot what the question was now.
Oh, it's just when you aren't as productive as you may have wanted to be.
Right. You can feel a sense of miserability there. Because there were times when I just sit in my room and just watch people's videos all day, and I'll be like, I wish I was good as them. I wish that I was where they are at. But anyone who would support you would say, you know, don't compare yourself to others.
Yep, life isn't social media.
No, it really isn't. You know, there's definitely, you know, you just be you. You know, you are more valuable than you could ever know.
Exactly. All right. Does the place you're in affect how productive you are? Like versus a room or maybe outside? Just in general, the place.
It depends. I've actually, in my opinion, at least for now, in the present day, whenever I look at footage I shot in my bedroom, I normally think it looks pretty decent. In the future, as I get better, I might think differently about it.
Mm-hmm.
But to my present perspective, I think the light looks pretty, just pretty nice. It suits my liking.
Yeah.
To a degree, but
the last one was.
But yeah, just a lot of different ones. No, I actually was pretty scared to upload the last one. It wasn't my favorite. I did like the more previous one when I went to Big Cottonwood a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the latest, but I uploaded the latest one regardless, and it had some missing footage in there because for some reason now, I don't know, my computer updated in such an odd way that now when I upload video files from my camera, it doesn't create a dated file anymore for all those separate files on that day anymore. It now just scatters them all over the place in the pictures catalog. I know so now like I'm just always having a trouble just seeking through them, and it has misarranged all of them. Like it doesn't arrange all the clips that were shot on that day in order anymore. Instead, it just like puts like duplicate names on them, only with like a 1 or a 2 on the side of them. I'm not quite sure how to explain that, but
that sounds frustrating.
Sure
That's got to really bring your workflow from like way up here to just way down.
Right. All you really need to know is the fact that it's all scattered. Mm-hmm. So
thanks, updates. Really,
yes,
all you are.
Thank you, updates. Windows updates, man. Oh man, you just gotta love them. They are so chaotic.
Remember one time I was at work and our computer got a Windows update? That took forever.
Yeah. It's especially very unfortunate now that because this is the digital age where people have now become very reliant on technology.
Mm-hmm.
So some people, depending on the job, oftentimes will they can't survive without. They won't be able to survive without technology.
I was watching The Terminator last night, and that was like one of the themes of the movie. It was like, this is what everyone's starting to rely on. And I'm like, wow, it's true.
Oh yeah. Is it the old Terminator or which Terminator was it?
I believe it was the first one with Genesis.
First one. Oh yeah, and it has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, or right? Yeah, the first one, the 80s, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. So it is the first one. But yeah, like what you're saying, It's just crazy how much we rely on technology and social media and like just everything.
I know it's crazy how things like this fascinates us. I mean, it makes you wonder, like, how did it even evolve on
before 2010? Outside after 2010.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, like I remember 2007. I was 7 years old at the time, so and my uncle, he had one of the first iPhones.
Oh.
He had a lightsaber app on it that like it was kind of realistic to where when you like wave the phone in front of somebody, it makes the sound of the lightsaber hitting them and killing them. So that really made me want an iPhone. I was like, Dad, why can't I have that on my iPod? And my dad was like, that's an iPhone, and I was just like, oh.
Like, I need one now. For the Star Wars.
Right. Well, I remember being 5 years old when touch screens were barely even a thing. It was all flip phones and desktops, and I was so hooked to the desktop because I'd always play like video games for my favorite cartoons, like on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
Can't forget cool math games. Maybe not at 7 years old, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know if cool math games existed at the time. It might have.
Yeah, maybe not like 7 years old, but as you got older.
It was back in 2005. I didn't start playing cool math games until like late in my elementary years. I don't think I found out about it until I was in the 5th grade when I was 10 years old, and I think my sister introduced my brother to it or something. So, and I was just like, oh, that looks fun. I didn't really, well, my sister and brother would play it all the time, and then I started playing on it when I was in middle school. Kinds of different things. But yeah, I don't know. Technology, you know, you love that it can get you a job in this day and age, and you can take advantage of YouTube. So it sounds like easy money, but nonetheless, you know, you also gotta just kind of take into consideration how much time you're putting into it, because you know, you're human and you have basic needs as well. So
can't focus it all right there. All right, I got another question for you. What gets you up and going?
What gets me up and going? Oh man, it's kind of a tricky one, actually. I don't really know.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the day. It depends on my energy. It depends on just how much sleep I got. Depends on, you know, just depends on the overall mood. Oftentimes it's like, do I want to stay up, or do I, because, you know, I personally just, I love to be an early bird. It's normally worth it for me to get up and see the sunrise.
Oh, same. The sunrise is beautiful.
Definitely. It's my favorite time of day. So when I was in high school, I'd always go on early morning bike rides before the sun even came up all the time.
Wow.
Because it's just when I personally feel the best. You know, it's when I feel the happiest. It definitely gives me the best kinds of vibes, and the fact that most people are asleep, and you just kind of feel like you have your own little space where everyone else is, you know, either trying to get to sleep or getting to work, and
you're just enjoying the sounds and the view.
Yeah, you're enjoying the time. You're enjoying all the free space.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you plan your breaks, or do you just decide, hey, I'm tired, I need to take a break?
Yeah, I don't really plan my breaks. I don't really build schedules a whole lot. Well, I did build one a couple years ago, but then I just wound up ditching it because, of course, I became unmotivated, because normally because we were moving from my old neighborhood, and so I had to reside at my grandma's house for a little while. And it was a bit tricky to adapt, given that of course you're unfamiliar with the place. Of course I've gone there for I used to visit there all the time before the pandemic, of course. So obviously, because, you know, it's my grandma and all that, but living there was a whole different experience. Because you know, I remember days you know, when there would be family get-togethers, and I would just I'd have a lot of fun over there all the time, and then I'd look forward to going home because I'd often just get all sleepy. But yeah, but during that time when I actually had to, whenever I went to visit my friends, I was like, oh yeah, I have a home to get to. I'm just like, oh wait, I have to go all the way over to another city.
Oh man,
to get home now. So
Quite
yeah, and at the time I didn't even have my driver's license. So
ouch. So was it a bike ride? Walk ride?
Right. Yeah. It definitely was. Yeah. It definitely was no. It wasn't a bike ride. I had to have my parents drive me places, or sometimes they just let me drive the car and all that.
Early learning.
Yes, early learning. I seriously pushed myself to just get my license that year because it's like I want my freedom, and in my new neighborhood, if you want to, in my new neighborhood, in my current neighborhood, I should say, if you want to get out of here, you have to know how to drive.
Yeah.
So, well, it's crazy. Yeah. There, when I first moved here, there was actually a ton of nature, a bunch of open field where there's just trails full of trees. Sadly, they're all cut down now because
this housing.
They're trying to they're trying to expand the neighborhood. A bit sad, but it's gonna happen nonetheless wherever there's open land. No, but nonetheless, there's always going to be the diamond places that are protected.
That's good. I already asked you that. Let's see. Okay. So before I ask this last question, I just want to ask you, because obviously this theme of what I was asking you is based off what you're kind of interested in talking about. Hypothesis for our own psychology. I was wondering if you had any other thoughts on what you were thinking.
Right. It's just kind of the way we are formulated, because especially me having grown up with ADD, of course. I often had trouble learning things just through demonstration.
Yeah.
Because normally I have trouble keeping my attention span whenever I am really not interested in something. And because to put it simple, I like to tell people hey, if my brain doesn't have autopilot, I'm mixing things up. My brain doesn't have a manual mode. So yeah, I kind of try to use camera talk. So yeah, I just could never set my brain to manual. I've tried multiple times throughout my career in school, and it just never really worked. I normally just learned best on my own, which is a good thing, I guess. It's great.
It's frustrating at times, great, but it has this nice, you experience a lot.
Definitely. Experience. Just experience for me as a person. Definitely, it's been my greatest teacher, and it has helped me through even the toughest of situations. So it's definitely worth it in the end. I'm not saying to try to give yourself hard experiences. Don't intend on just giving yourself hell.
I'm climbing Mount Everest tonight with all this wind.
Yeah, I'm climbing Mount Everest tonight with all this wind. I'm going to make sure that without a coat, I am just going to climb this. I'm gonna climb this mountain completely naked, no gear. And I've got no food on me. Let's just do this. I'll find my ways of adapting. One bottle of water. Here we go. That should last me 3 months.
Obviously the case. Yeah.
Obviously the case. Yes. But yeah, you just gotta kind of go with the flow, you know. Just don't like how do I put it? Don't down talk yourself, you know.
Yeah. Confidence.
Just got to let the wind carry you.
Where the wind blows. I don't know if I said that right, but
Yes, where the wind blows.
Was there anything else that you had in mind when you mentioned that?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it, you know. I just think that you know, we all grow up being reliant on a lot of things, of course, especially in our modern age where everything's industrialized now. Which, because, you know, you can't entirely blame yourself for how the world is, you know, because sometimes it kind of just contributes to the way things function in your life. So there definitely are limits, and it definitely contributes to making you unmotivated. So, but the great thing about the human mind is that, you know, we have the ability to think freely. You know, the whole human mind is limitless. So
We're never gonna truly understand how it works. Might get like a good idea.
We're never gonna truly. Well, yeah, definitely. We're never gonna truly understand how it works, but it certainly was a lot easier because, you know, when you think about the psychology of other animals, you know, because, you know, humans, you know, like at least in the scientific field, you're taught that, you know, we too used to be primitive like they were, and we had to just we just kind of had our ways to survive, you know. It was much more simplistic, like, you know, the evidence kind of just shows it was a bit more simplistic than in the modern era.
Yeah.
Where now you're basically forced to make money to live. And, you know, but back then, you know, when everybody just kind of lived out in the wild, you know, like we had free access to fresh air, free access to clean water. We were surrounded by compassion and everything. So part of me really thinks that it just kind of has to do with human biology and how we respond to our environment.
Yeah. It's like the difference between surviving and being the customer, or like working, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Like surviving and thriving, you know, because, you know, if it weren't for adaptation, you know, we wouldn't really be able. We wouldn't even be talking in English to each other probably to this day.
That's probably true. It'll be all body language.
Definitely. You know, we wouldn't have all these opportunities. But nonetheless, you know, we all like, because, you know, I think everyone just naturally likes to have time, like likes to be on their own time. And, you know, and some people can adapt better than others. You know, like everyone has their own personality, of course. So they're going to develop responses in their own way. But also just kind of how your life background is also like, just not, like I said, you know, just the environment you grow up in, or, you know, it's definitely going to formulate how, like, it's definitely going to have a lot to do with how you formulate your responses and, you know, what. So you'll just kind of figure out on your own how to just kind of adapt to just the situation you're in.
Yeah. That's why we need good parents and not the, you know, the bad parents.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely, that's definitely something that, you know, people like us are to be grateful for. I feel like a lot of us take it for granted a lot. Like, I'm not referring to us in particular, but people who like are just kind of in our same boat, just kind of in our little dome.
Mm-hmm.
People who actually have all these opportunities that other people in the world may not ever get to experience in their life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like a lot of the time we forget to take advantage of that. You know, we never really take the time to think about that kind of stuff because we're so caught up with our current situations rather than thinking about what we want for our future.
Mm-hmm.
While we, you know, like with what we have, we've got to, you know, it's definitely, especially while you're young, you know, it's definitely something that should be discussed. You know, I do feel it's important that people just kind of go over that kind of thing.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, if you have any thoughts on it, I'd definitely love to hear.
No, I was very engaged. I didn't respond much, but I was very engaged to what you were saying at that very end part. And I was glad I got to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like one of those moments where you're about to say something, but someone else is just taking the words out of your mouth, and it's just
listening's better here.
It's just like, oh, cool, sweet, great minds think alike.
All right.
It's got to be true.
So for this last question, it doesn't relate too much to the topic, but I think it'd be kind of interesting. So first of all, would you like to try a minimalism challenge?
Oh yeah, definitely. I kind of feel like I already started that ever since I stopped doing stop motion. Like, I haven't actually displayed any Lego. Well, I have one Lego set on display in my room now, but everything else is just sketchbook, my swords, and just my laptop. Just, I basically now just keep whatever's important to me and just whatever isn't needed. Yeah. Something that actually, I just keep stuff that actually brings value to my life now.
All right.
Yeah, I think it was just over these past couple of years, I've just been I just learned not to care much for the small things and just focus on the bigger things that actually matter.
Yeah. So I have a question. This is not what I was planning on asking, actually. But lately I've been thinking of kind of getting rid of a lot of my Legos because I don't really use them anymore. And just keep the few that really bring nostalgia to my childhood and what I've done over the years, and then give away the rest to my nephews. I don't know what we're...
Yeah. I definitely think that sounds like something I would do. I mean, dude, I have so many unopened Lego sets. They're still sealed in the box to this day. And I've had many of them since 2016.
Oh, man.
And I never opened them because I didn't have space for them in my old room. And now that I've moved here, there's even less space.
I mean, they're not unopened. Sold them on eBay, right?
Right. I mean, there's more tall space. My ceiling is higher, but yeah, it's not wider.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing me, I've always preferred wider over taller.
Yep.
Taller isn't really my taste much.
It's harder to place stuff vertically.
I've kind of just, it's definitely way harder because I don't really see the benefits from it because, humans are ground dwelling creatures. I don't see why there has to be such a high ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if it's your preference, you do you, of course. That cool. That's cool.
Being a 7-foot giant might contribute.
Being a 7-foot giant, that would.
All right.
Absolutely.
For the question I did plan, so basically I recently watched the movie Less is More, or Minimalism, I don't know, it's a minimalist movie by Matt Diavella. And it's...
Oh, yeah. I just watched his video talking about that.
Oh, yeah,
today.
I watched part of that. But at the end of the movie, it suggested trying a challenge where on day 1, you get rid of 1 item. Day 2, you get rid of 2 items. Day 3, you get rid of 3 items. And so forth for 30 days. Would you be interested in trying this with me? If not, that's fine too. But just wondering if you'd be interested.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. I actually, because, a lot of the Lego sets I have in my closet, a lot of the unopened ones, I decided I'd probably just keep all like the 2011 and 2012 sets that I have there because
those ones have some nostalgia.
Those ones are the ones that give me the best of nostalgia, and then all those later ones I don't like. They didn't really satisfy me as much, and they're not really benefiting me much. So I'm debating on either selling them or giving them away, but who knows? Maybe,
so hard to decide. It's like,
I know. I'd probably sell them actually, just because
cash going.
Especially if you're someone like especially if you're someone like me who has an only Saturday job, it'll definitely work. But it'll probably be cheating if it's just all those Lego sets I never use anymore. But
I'd say it's fair if that's what you want to do. I'll probably get rid of some Legos, and I honestly just have a bunch of crap I need to get rid of.
Right, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I can probably just disregard and not worry about it. It'll definitely make moving out easier as well. I've actually been really wanting to move out. But
and you live with your parents, correct?
Yep, still to this day. I intended to move out last year, but
things happened.
And then once the pandemic hit, I intended to move out 2 years ago actually, but I didn't have enough money for an apartment or anything, and I definitely need a roommate. Also, it's just I also have pets now, so extra money.
It's a little pricey with
pets. Definitely. Well, they're pretty low maintenance. They're less expensive than if you were to take care of like a dog or a cat, but so they'll probably be no big deal. But that's the second thing I've got my eye on rather than companionship. But definitely got to do it smart. Got to play it smart with your money. I absolutely admired Matt Diavella and his idea of minimalism, and I absolutely endorse the idea of minimalism and actually do aspire to be a minimalist.
That's cool.
Myself.
I had no idea what you'd think of that. Like, I was so nervous to ask. I'm like, is he even...
I totally agree. I may be a former stop motion animator who did Lego videos all throughout my teenhood. I do feel the sense of, I definitely am at that point where I'm learning like how adults function and how they kind of just stop worrying about that kind of stuff and just keep whatever benefits them.
What's truly important. Cool. Well, do you have any last things you want to say?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'd like to make a shout out to Liquid Death Mountain Water. This video isn't sponsored, obviously. I am really hoping that I could be a sponsor one of these days, of course. I do often have like a ton, like oftentimes in my videos, you will definitely see me just opening cans of them in B-roll.
Wait, could you remind me where you could buy Liquid Death again?
I just buy it off their website. They're a bit quirky to many. It's literally just water in a can, but they're just so edgy. But that's just kind of what I like about them. That's just my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure who else out there may have edgy humor, but I definitely recommend them if you're like edgy, and also you're kind of just saving the environment by drinking water out of cans rather than plastic bottles.
I'm a culprit of the plastic
Absolutely.
bottles. I gotta stop.
I know. My dad wound up buying plastic bottled water, and I was just like, betrayal. But
Betrayal.
Then, like what you'd hear on Halo 3. But
Thanks, Dad.
But yeah, my dad said he feels like he'll drink it more if we just buy it bottled. So I was just like, whatever. I mean, we do have, like, our fridge does have a filter that we can use, and I use it often whenever I'm not drinking Liquid Death.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably only worth a one-time purchase nonetheless. Just for the fun of it, because it is a bit expensive if you live away from the premise. I mean, you could get it at your local Whole Foods if you have a Whole Foods anywhere.
Oh, yeah, like Ream, or do you know what Reams is?
No, I've never
what are
heard
some
of
examples
Reams.
of this store that might have it?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. There are rings in its name. Yeah, it's just called Whole Foods.
Mhm.
I don't know if you. Well, I mean, obviously, like I've seen a ton of them in Utah. So
Yeah. Well, if I have enough left over on my next paycheck, I'll try getting some.
cool.
Save the
cool.
environment. Why not? And water sounds super good right now.
Absolutely. I've stuck to having that be my main source of beverages.
Mhm.
Just
Is it?
I used to be a major caffeinated soda addict.
Yep.
So, but drinking sparkling water really helps me to escape that kind of lifestyle. All thanks to just the way Liquid Death designs their cans.
What else do you need?
Nothing more, man. I couldn't ask for anything more than Liquid Death to murder my thirst.
Well said. Cool. I think I'm gonna end it right here. I feel like that worked out pretty good. Thanks for being on again, because the production value goes up way up just having you on, and I feel like we can relate a lot.
Cool.
So
Yes.
make sure.
Thank you a ton for letting me be a part of this. It's always an honor.
Make sure to go follow GlacierRockShinobi and do not unsubscribe.
Just stick around if you're interested in my content. Just feel free to stick around is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I should have phrased that better. Anyway, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And then I guess for that minimalism challenge, just write on a Google Doc what you get rid of, and guess
Absolutely.
we'll try having you on again for the March episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that works for
should
you,
work.
yeah.
Definitely. All right, cool.
Cool. Well, see you
All right.
then. Maybe sooner. Who knows?
See.
Yep. See you, man. Thank you.
Well, whenever. Yeah, later. Thank you.
All right. If you have any ideas for the podcast, just let me know. I'd love to talk about them. If you'd like to be a guest, just let me know, and we could probably set up a time. And if you're wondering what Linguinis Dough is, this is where we start with a piece of dough, which is a base ingredient, and we build from that. We can really be talking about anything. I do try to keep the dough baked at a consistent level of productivity, but it can be rolled around from time to time. The voice actor in this video is user/Lendry from Reddit, spelled Lendry. Go check him out if you want a reliable voice actor. The songs are Slug Love 87, Go On Going, Charanagoes, Digital Memory, Witness, all from the YouTube library. And that's all I have for you today, so I'll see you in the next episode.